Welcome to Cinematic Crux. Today, I'm diving into the 2017 Russian science fiction and action movie called Attraction. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with Yulia, the daughter of one of the leaders in the Russian military, sharing a story about her deceased mother and her loneliness despite living with her father. During class, the teacher explains an astronomical phenomenon happening on Earth, and a nerd named Google seems to have a crush on Yulia since he always tries to help her answer the teacher's questions. After school, Yulia asks her father, Colonel Valentin Lebedev, for permission to see a meteor shower that evening, but he forbids the request, claiming it's for her safety. Annoyed with her dad's decision, she calls her badass boyfriend, Tyoma, who suggests she disobeys her father since it's a once-in-50-years phenomenon. Tyoma eventually picks Yulia up and takes her to the roof of a building where everyone is eagerly awaiting the meteor shower. While Yulia reunites with her girlfriend, Svetlana, the couple decides to have fun in Svetlana's apartment room, leaving Yulia alone on the rooftop. Meanwhile, an alien spaceship is seen traveling through the solar system. Suddenly, it gets hit by one of the meteors, causing it to malfunction and enter Earth's atmosphere at a very high speed. The Russian military detects the falling alien spaceship and they launch missiles at it since it does not slow down, causing it to lose speed. The spaceship begins to fall toward the city and damages several buildings, including Svetlana's apartment. This collision immediately kills Svetlana while shocking the couple, who almost fall from the building. After crashing into several buildings and killing hundreds of people, it finally stops moving. The Russian military immediately approaches the crashing ship in the impact zone and attempts to make contact with them while evacuating the city since the spaceship could be a nuclear bomb. Colonel Lebedev and Mikhail Polskin, a State Duma deputy, walk toward the ship to make contact with an ancient creature, presumably alien, for the first time. Several shooters are also placed to anticipate a surprise attack. Mikhail attempts to give a warm welcome to the alien and it seems to understand them and tries to communicate with them, but in an unidentified language. A few moments later, Lebedev reports to the higher-ups, saying that he has agreed with the aliens to keep a distance from them while they are repairing the broken spaceship. Some higher-ups suggest they assault to destroy it entirely, but the colonel refuses to provoke aggression with the aliens and chooses to observe. Meanwhile, Yulia finally awakens and learns that her girlfriend has passed away. She also sees the news on the TV, revealing that her father is responsible for the operation, and protective structures have been built around the 1-kilometer radius surrounding the spaceship. She then leaves the hospital and mourns for her friend's death. Colonel Lebedev then takes his daughter home, where she has to live with her grandma temporarily. Despite the crash, the students still attend school, where the teacher expresses his excitement to encounter an extraterrestrial civilization. The students are angry towards the aliens since they believe the aliens are the cause of the death of their friends or family members, and the military still doesn't take any action. Yulia then secretly takes her father's gun and goes to Tyoma's gang hideout where Tyoma and his friends plan to spread negative comments about the aliens on social media. She urges them to go to the quarantine zone to avenge her girlfriend's death. They sneak in through an old processing plant and eventually arrive at the zone. Tyoma suggests Yulia waits in the car while the others explore the nearby buildings, where they discover an alien thing, presumably fell through the ceiling. Meanwhile, Yulia disobeys her boyfriend and silently ascends to Svetlana's apartment room where an alien creature suddenly shows up and shocks Yulia. The alien saves her from falling down and tries to communicate with her while Tyoma and his friends arrive and hit the mysterious creature. It slips and loses its grip, causing it to free fall. They immediately approach the creature, and Tyoma finds blood, which has the same characteristics as humans. Turns out, it is an exoskeleton armor, and Yulia spots a dying alien creature that has the exact same physical form as humans, but she ignores him. They then manage to take the armor and the mysterious thing away unnoticed. Later that night, Yulia can't sleep and decides to go back to the building in the quarantine zone. Upon arrival, she rescues the alien and hides its body inside the car. The next day, she asks Google, who plans to study medicine after graduation, to help her. She tells Google that she owes the alien and wants to save him. Google concludes his anatomy is similar to humans, thus they bring him to a hospital since he has lost a lot of blood. They do a blood test on him and figure out that he has the same blood group as Yulia. She decides to transfuse her blood to him, and it works. He wakes up and suddenly grabs her hand, transferring his metal bracelet to her. While taking a bath, she realizes that the metal bracelet attracts water and allows her to control water. Meanwhile, the military army retrieves the shield lookalike alien thing and investigates it. The colonel is also aware that the thing can control water. On the other side, a fisherman is shocked when he finds out the water near the alien vessel has magically disappeared. The scientist concludes that the ship draws water and uses it to fix the ship since 30% of the external damage of the ship has been repaired. Meanwhile, the alien wakes up and somehow manages to speak Russian. He introduces himself as Hakan and reveals that he is looking for a device called Shilk. He dresses up and leaves on his own. The patrolling officers spot him and send him off to a police station to be interrogated. Tayoma and his friends examine the exoskeleton and discover that they can utilize it since it is the right size for humans. One of his friends accidentally activates the armor, which makes the gang panic. Tayoma calls Colonel Lebedev and decides to hand over the exoskeleton to the military, but he is not available at the moment. They stumble upon a crowd who are furious because the military rationed the water supply. One of them attempts to provoke the crowd, and the fight between the officers and the crowd ensues. Tayoma, who has good intentions to try to break up the fight, gets hit in the back by one of the officers and gets arrested. Not long after, Lebedev arrives, but Tayoma cancels his plan to give the exoskeleton to the military. While being questioned, the police officer is confused when she cannot find any fingerprints on Hakan's finger. A few moments later, Yulia arrives at the police station to free Hakan. Unfortunately, Tayoma is also in the same room when he finds Yulia, and he is very disappointed with her actions. She decides to bring the alien to the perimeter to meet her father. While on their way, Hakan explains that he needs Shilp to be able to return to his planet. Upon arrival, Yulia has to lie that she is pregnant so that her father wants to meet her. She introduces Hakan to the colonel while silently taking her father's access card and giving it to the alien, who is sent out by the enraged father. Hakan disguises as a scientist and sneaks into the laboratory where he retrieves the Shilp from the unidentified thing. It takes some time before the scientists realize that he is not Colonel Lebedev. They immediately trigger the emergency alarm. Afterward, Hakan somehow reunites with Yulia and Lebedev, who orders his men to drive them home. Tayoma is finally released, and with his friends, they start preparing for the revolt. They modify their car, make Molotovs, and supply baseball bats. After that, he calls Yulia and apologizes, begging her to join the movement, but she refuses as she chooses the alien over him. Hakan needs to bring the Shilk into the ship immediately, but they have to wait until midnight since there's no way they can pass the guards there. She brings him home and introduces her sick dog to the alien. Hakan understands that the dog is suffering. Thus he brings the Shilk closer to the dog, which magically cures his sickness, and the dog has now become healthy again. While eating, Yulia learns from the TV that Hakan has now become a military fugitive. Discovering her dad with his military convoy arrives at home. They run away where Hakan warns her not to smoke since it's harmful to her health. Meanwhile, the hate video towards the alien and military has now gone viral and affects a lot of people. The video suggests that humans must protect their Earth from superior beings. Turns out that it's Tayoma and his friends who created and posted the video to spread hate. Yulia and Hakan visit Google and borrow his clothes. Afterward, the pair go to a concert where Colonel Lebedev can't look for them. While dancing, Hakan tells Yulia to hold his hand and shows her what his planet looks like. He says that humans are prohibited from getting closer to their ship or Saul will destroy the ship since they are afraid that humans will steal their advanced technology. Unfortunately, one of Tayoma's friends spots them and directly informs him, which makes Tayoma enraged. After the party, Yulia escorts the alien back to his ship through the abandoned building where they finally kiss, and Yulia confesses her true feelings to the alien. Suddenly, the broken-hearted Tayoma and his friends appear and start beating up the alien ruthlessly. Hakan decides to fight back when Tayoma slaps Yulia. He shows his superiority and knocks everyone down easily. One of the men attempts to shoot Hakan, but the bullet hits Ruslin instead. Tayoma and his friend manage to flee when the guards arrive. Tayoma, who is devastated because his best friend was killed, orders his friend to spread the fake news, telling that the alien has killed the men, and invites everyone on the internet to riot and attack the spaceship. After everyone is gathered, Tayoma gives a provocative speech to them, telling them that the military has been protecting the aliens, not them, and they have to reclaim their Earth. The military holds the fire and chooses to defend the line, but Tayoma's group begins to rampage and manages to break through the barricade. Meanwhile, Tayoma tries to utilize the alien's exoskeleton. Feeling threatened, the spaceship summons several aliens with modern suits to defend their ship. At the military base, Yulia reveals to her father that Hakan is not human and eventually disobeys her father, threatening to kill herself since she believes that the right thing to do right now is to return the alien to his ship instead of calling for a full military assault. She immediately drives Hakan back to his spaceship where Tayoma with his new suit intervenes. He crashes the car, causing Yulia to faint. Hakan has no other option than to fight him. Tayoma outpowers the alien and attempts to kill him when Yulia wakes up and hits the exoskeleton with the car. Meanwhile, Colonel Lebedev and his soldiers lower their weapons, showing the aliens that they are harmless. The exoskeleton loses its arm, and Tayoma is ejected from the suit. He grabs the rifle and ruthlessly shoots the couple. Lebedev sees his daughter get shot and immediately orders his men to arrest Tayoma. The aliens cooperate with the humans and bring the dying Hakan, Yulia, and Colonel Lebedev into the ship. They then put them into a healing capsule while Lebedev talks to the ship's AI, who speaks Russian, explains to the colonel that they are prohibited from visiting Earth since it's considered a place with an extremely aggressive social environment. environment. Hakan believes there is hope to make contact with Earth and travels to Earth to observe. Thanks to Yulia's sincere love for Hakan, Sol states that she might bring a positive impact to the result of the observation. Not long after, Yulia is resurrected, and the spaceship departs from Earth while releasing excess water. At the end of the movie, Yulia states that one stranger, in the far distant cosmos, believed in humankind's capabilities more than humans themselves. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.